welcome everyone to the final episode in 2019 of Unrooted, and my guest for this one, a special Unrooted. It's the voice of the Menlo men's basketball team, athletics communications intern at Menlo College, Ryan Barnett. RB, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you for having me, Brian. I've been looking forward to doing this since I saw the show the first time it was on, so really excited to be here.
This episode has been a long time coming, folks, and I promise you it will not disappoint. We have a lot to get into, so let's begin right off the top by talking about your vehicle. Now, anybody who knows you knows that you drive a car that is simply known as Yacht Dog. Tell me about the legend of Yacht Dog and how it came to be.
Well, to start, Yacht Dog is, for those of you who don't know at home, a bright orange Honda Fit with a license plate that is Yacht Dog, YCHT-DOG. So if you see me around, driving, wave and say hi, you can't miss me. But I guess Yacht Dog, in the form of the license plate, has been there my whole life. My dad had it before I was born. But the car came around, I was about 13, I think, when we got it. I was given it when I was 16, and the name, not so much, you know. It did not have a name until I was a senior in high school, and that name was not Yacht Dog. I was working at the time I gave it its first name. I had a friend who was really into cars who said, you have to name your car. And the hip teen I was, I came up with the first name that came to my mind, and that was Orange Swagalicious. So for a year, my car was Orange Swagalicious.
Oh, no.
Now, coming to Menlo, dropped the name. It was just an orange car. That was enough. But I don't remember exactly if it was Eric Fredland or Rosendo Amayawood from the men's basketball team. But one of them first noticed Yacht Dog, the license plate, and it just stuck as the name. So it's been known my 4 years here at Menlo as Yacht Dog.
Now, when you received the car as a 16-year-old, did you want Yacht Dog? Like, was that a car that you had your eyes on? Like, did you want something else? Did you want a truck? Or did you, like, I'm so happy I have Yacht Dog?
I was so happy that my parents let me have a car. Because originally it was going to be a shared car. Eventually, by the time I got my license, it was 2 months after my 16th birthday. That was when I got my license. They said, you can have the car. So I would have been happy with a soapbox car. So a car with an engine and 4 wheels and a steering wheel that worked, I was happy for. My dad always had a bright orange car growing up. Orange is his favorite color. Inherently, it's sort of become my favorite color. So the orange car fit my personality. I've lived to love it. I love Yacht Dog. It's got me so many places through. Now we're up to 100,000 miles together.
Is Yacht Dog going to be a forever car?
I don't know that it's going to be a forever car, but it's going to be as long as it goes car. I was told recently at a dealership that I could get another 100,000 miles out of it. Hopefully another 100,000, 200,000. I love that car.
Sounds like it will be a forever car. The Yacht Dog Orange Swagalicious. I kind of want to bring that name back, actually. That's pretty good.
We'll see.
Now, being an LA guy, you are a big Dodgers fan, Chargers fan, and you root for the UCLA Bruins. But I want to ask specifically about the Dodgers since we are in baseball season. How tough is it to go so far in the playoffs every year but not win at all?
You know, it stings, but I wouldn't say it stings as much as you might expect, at least from my perspective as a sports fan. I mean, growing up, UCLA basketball went to 1 national championship. They lost to the University of Florida. UCLA football and the Chargers have been mediocre, good teams at best. So I'm not really used to my teams even making it as far as the Dodgers made it back in 2017. Now, they made it to the World Series in 2017 against the Astros. I was happy that they just made it that far. And, you know, I'm watching the games. It was a great game, great series overall. I like Houston a lot. I was happy that they won their first World Series. The city of Houston had a really rough year with Hurricane Harvey that year. So I was happy for Houston. Now we swing it around to 2018. And I didn't think the Dodgers were nearly as good as they were the year before. The American League was stacked. I mean, your Oakland Athletics had a better record than the Dodgers, who had the best record in the National League, as the sixth seeded team in the American League. And I thought the Dodgers would be lucky to get through Atlanta in the divisional series and maybe take one against Milwaukee. So we got to the World Series that year, and I was hyped. I had hope. We didn't have Yu Darvish to blow the series for us. And then to see them lose in 5 to Boston, and I didn't even get to see a win because the one win they had was that 18-inning game, and I fell asleep. I'll be honest with you.
You didn't make it through?
18 innings of baseball is a lot. That's a lot to take in. So I did not stick around for the Max Muncy walk-off home run in inning number 18. And that one hurt a little bit more. But like I said, being the kind of guy I am, I'm happy to see my teams go that far in general. Now, fingers crossed. I mean, the Dodgers offense looks really explosive this year. Their bullpen needs some work, but maybe they can make some acquisitions by the trade deadline, and hopefully we'll see 3-for-3 trips and maybe bring a World Series ring home in my lifetime.
Hey, if Cody Bellinger continues to hit the way he has to begin 2019, I think you guys are going to be okay.
We love those belly bombs.
Oh, belly bombs and crushing home runs on this side of the bay.
Yes.
Two of the premier power hitters in baseball right now. Now, let's go back in time to when you were a freshman here at Menlo and you came in as the men's basketball team manager. What made you want to get involved and what was that experience like?
Well, I was a team manager for 2 teams at my high school, the Albert Einstein Academy. A lot of people get a kick out of that. I managed the men's basketball team as well as the football team there. I also played on the soccer teams and baseball teams there. So if you couldn't tell, not a big fan of free time. And we got an email over the summer. I think it went out to the entire student body, or at least the student body that weren't already signed athletes, with all of the coaches' contact information for anyone who wanted to walk on to a team. And I knew I wanted to continue my career in athletics. I knew my playing days were over, but I knew I wanted to manage a team. I had experience doing that. So I contacted Coach Jake McKinley of the baseball team and Coach Caniela Iona of the men's basketball team. Now, Coach McKinley was away on a recruiting trip at the time and was gone until August. I didn't hear back from him until August or September. But Coach Iona actually had assistant coach Dustin Johnston call me back that evening. Within about 15 minutes of the email I sent to him. Knocked out the first round phone interview right there for the team manager job. And I was on the fast track to managing the team for my first 2 years at Menlo. And man, oh man, was that an incredible experience. Traveling with the team, getting to utilize some of the statistics knowledge that I had built up in high school and having some new statistical categories that Coach Iona and Coach Johnston and later on Coach Montgomery taught me were great. Going to Hawaii, watching the men's basketball team knock off Benedictine, Ben Graham with that buzzer beater layup. I know your call there was fantastic. I mean, so many great experiences. Made some of the closest friends of my life on that team. I mean, I can't thank the men's basketball team enough for the time they gave me and taking that chance on a kid from Santa Clarita, giving me that call that night, and welcoming me with open arms as part of that team for 2 years.
Now, it wasn't much longer until you found your way to the broadcast booth where you made your debut. I think it was about 3 years ago out at Wonderlic Field, Menlo softball with me. What made you want to get into broadcasting in the first place?
What started it actually was I was a public address announcer in high school. That was really one of the unofficial duties of the team manager for the football team and the basketball team. And I had contacted Aaron about that. I knew I wanted to continue doing that in college, and I got my chance sophomore year right before those games at Wonderlic at the Peninsula Classic, the women's basketball tournament we host every year, New Year's weekend. And that was when I started sort of building the relationship with the sports information department, with you and with Aaron. And that really got me the confidence to come and approach you guys about broadcasting. I was that kid at home who liked to watch games on mute and broadcast myself. Yeah. We had a channel actually back home called Lakers Courtside. And it was every home Lakers game just from a courtside seat with a camera and the game sounds. And I loved that channel because I could broadcast with the game sounds. So I figured, maybe I could give this a shot, talk to Brian, talk to Aaron Gillespie, and maybe I could broadcast by my senior year. Lo and behold, I interviewed with you guys, and about 10 days later was a softball opener, and I was on the call.
And the rest is history. Now, you've been on the call for so many big moments over your about 2.5 years as a broadcaster. Is there any way you can compile a top 3?
I had to give a lot of thought about this, and I have come up with one.
Okay.
It wouldn't just be broadcasting calls, but then game experience as a whole. So number 3 would definitely have to be men's basketball senior night this year. First of all, to be a part of Anders Nemo's senior night, being an only child, Anders was my roommate first year of college, and he was like the first closest thing I ever had to a brother. And being able to be a part of his senior night, announce his name, see his family there was amazing. See him score his last bucket at Haynes Prim Pavilion. But then you coming up with a surprise as well, grabbing the microphone from me after I introduced our two seniors and introducing me and having the men's basketball team honor me. That was very humbling. I was so honored by the team. I mean, those guys, especially Coach Iona, Coach Montgomery, Coach Fuji, and the rest of the team just have been so much my Menlo family here over the past 4 years, and it was a great day, and my family was there as well. It was a really special time. So that would be number 3. Men's basketball came up with the win against OUAZ that day. Number 2, Jeremiah Testa's game-winning three-pointer, my first ever game winner. Voice cracked a little bit. I know you like to give me a hard time about
Jeremiah
that.
Testa for 3. He hits it.
But, I mean, that's how you capture the excitement. Yep. I mean, he hits this buzzer-beater 3 against Southern Oregon, who had knocked off Menlo in the same tournament 2 years prior on a buzzer-beater coast-to-coast layup. And being able to come back to beat him in that fashion, the gym was going wild. It was an incredible experience. That was my first ever buzzer-beater. And, of course, I mean, to cap it off, this past weekend, softball, or I guess it was 2 weekends ago, softball against Hope International, back-to-back walk-offs. At the time, I thought those would be my last calls at Wonderlic. Scheduling change, I'll be on the call a little bit later with the doubleheader against San Diego Christian, William Jessup. But that was just really exciting. I had never seen that, back-to-back extra inning walk-offs, both won by the Oaks. Both upset fashion against Hope International. Both freshmen who walked it off, too. It was that was an incredible experience. Some of the best quality of softball I've seen here at Menlo in my 4 years. And there have been some good years and some good teams in my 4 years.
I completely agree with you. I mean, when you go up and down the list of all the qualities of that weekend of softball against Hope International, hands down, one of the best moments, not just of the year, but really of the past couple of years. Now, you recently won the Menlo College Spirit Award at the Honors Convocation. It's given to a student who best exemplifies leadership and commitment to the college. What did winning that award mean to you?
I mean, that was a huge honor to win that award. And I'll tell you, actually 2 years ago, my sophomore year, I was honored with a different award for the sophomore class at that same Honors Convocation, and saw someone else, a familiar face, winning the Menlo Spirit Award, one Mr. Brian Brownfield. And when I heard of the award, that was the first time I had ever learned of the award, and the way you exemplified it, I set my goal that by my senior year, I would win that award as well. And it was great to know that and to find out that my hard work doesn't go unnoticed, because I do a lot here at Menlo. Beyond just for the athletics department, I work as an admissions ambassador. I tutor in our math center and our academic success center. And I do it because this school has done a lot for me. This has been a real incredible place for me for 4 years. I believe it has developed me into the man I am today. I am ready to approach the working world once I graduate in a couple of weeks, or a week now, and I owe that to the school, and I was glad, A, I was able to give back to the school, and B, that's noticed by the school's faculty, all the hard work I've put in for this place, because anything I can do to advance the name of Menlo College and advance its reputation, I'm happy to do.
And you've done quite the honorable job of doing that. So you're in your final week as a student here at Menlo College. You just listed all the stuff you've done over 4 years. What are going to be some of your fondest memories of this place?
Man, there are so many. I have just brought in so many wonderful people to my life here. I mean, mentors like you and Aaron. I mean, some of my closest friends, Eric Fredlin, Anders Nemo, Daniel Romero, Kaylin Camaro, to name just a few. I mean, my girlfriend, I met the love of my life, who I've been with for 3 years now here. I mean, so many brilliant people, brilliant relationships. I will go back to one memory, though, that kind of sums up my time at Menlo. Throwing it all the way back to freshman year, a soccer game that we all decided, it was a hot day, we were going to take our shirts off, it was members of the men's basketball team, and paint Menlo on our chests. And I was the O. And that game went to double overtime. And it was a sunny day, Wonderlic Field, an all-turf field that got hot. and I had the Menlo O, burned onto my chest and stomach for, I would say it lasted until midway through summer break between my freshman and sophomore year. About July was finally when it came off, the sunburn, and the O was gone. But that was just, that sort of sums up my Menlo experience in a nutshell, and it was something that happened in my first month of Menlo, but I knew when I came here that I was going to be Mr. Menlo and do anything for these programs, and that sort of typifies it right there.
I've gotten the chance to hear a lot of RB stories over the years. That is one of my favorite stories. Every time I hear the Menlo O just being sunburned on his chest, it just brings a smile to my face, and I can't stop laughing. And it's just a hilarious image of freshman baby RB at a soccer game, and he's just getting tortured with the sun. It's just... It's not tortured, a good look
though.
On you.
Not tortured, I'll tell you that.
Not tortured. You got sunburned.
I got sunburned, but it's not torture out there when you're cheering on your Menlo Oaks. It is not torture.
This guy loves Menlo. All right, let's get into Brownie Bites, RB. 3 questions. You ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All right, question number 1. Which person at Menlo College did you never get to broadcast with, but you wish you had the chance to?
So I brought this down to 3 people. I know you said 1, but I could bring it only down to 3. There were quite a few on the list to begin with. Number 3, I would say Eric Fredland. Eric and I came in at the same time with Menlo basketball. He's made the transition to joining us now for sports information and communication as one of our broadcast producers. And he has bluffed a couple of times at baseball putting the headsets on. So I'm throwing the gauntlet right now. I want to hear Eric Fredland on a call. Baseball this weekend, baseball this week, senior week. I want him on the call with us. So Eric Fredland's number 3. Number 2, Rodrigo Donner.
Oh, my.
I want to get a call with RD. I want to get him a headset, down with the camera, Booger McFarland look, and I know who that is because of you, Brian. Yep. And he just has such an interesting perspective on the game of baseball, Rodrigo. When you talk baseball with him, I've never met someone with that unique of a perspective, that he's a baseball fan. He can watch a beautiful play against his most beloved team and still recognize it as a beautiful play. So I think he would be a very interesting face to bring onto the call from his bullpen camera point of view. And last but not least, Matt Ganebe. I think
Hamburger Matty.
Matt and I, we missed our broadcasting careers by 1 semester here at Menlo, and I think it would have been great if you, me, and Matty got on a broadcast for volleyball together. 3 guys. He knows volleyball. That's his sport. I mean, growing up as a big U of Hawaii fan, he knows his Rainbow Warriors, and they're quite the program. I would have thought that would have been a great time, the 3 of us just talking sports on the air, and we just missed it. He came out to senior day, I know, but we weren't able to set the broadcast for 3 guys up just in time with baseball going to extra innings beforehand.
And I'm pretty sure his Warriors just won a championship in volleyball as well.
I know they won the Big West Championship. I don't know have they played the national title yet?
Well, I don't know about national title, but they just won something, and I saw him post on social media. He
Conference
was all
title.
giddy about it. Okay, there you go. So congratulations, Matty. Yes, come on back one time next year. We'll get RB to come out. We'll do the 3 of us. The Breen, Van Gundy, and Jackson of volleyball at Menlo College. Question number 2, name a person who is least likely to pull off the Converse shoes.
Had to think about this one for a while. Don't really stare at people's feet all too often, but I think after some careful contemplation, I would go with Coach Kaniela Iona. I've seen him go basketball shoes. I've seen him go dress shoes. Don't think I've really seen anything in between. And, I mean, he's a formal guy outside of the basketball court, so I think the Converse may be a little too informal for him.
I don't think they make Converse his size. That's my concern.
I'm sure you could find him.
I don't know what size shoe he wears, but he's got to be like a 16, maybe?
He's up there, so you're probably about right.
I mean, he's a big man. I've never seen Converse that big. And then question number 3, of all the basketball players you ever managed, who had the sweatiest laundry?
So that depends on the kind of practice, I'll tell you. So if it's a running practice, the team's running sprints, it's got to go to one of the big guys. So Eric Fredland, Michael Hauser, Max Hauser, maybe Will Asplund. You know, and the running practices, those guys get pretty hot down there on the gym. I mean, of course, they're bigger guys. They got more weight to carry doing those wind sprints. But I would say just a normal practice, the sweatiest jersey, I mean, that's kind of a badge of honor, someone who's a hustle player. So it should come as no surprise that that's always Jared Wall.
Yeah, that doesn't really surprise me, knowing the way Jared plays, and we talked to him on the show earlier this season. He is that kind of guy, and yeah, I wouldn't say it's anything bad. It's not a reflection of his pores. It's just the way that he's running up and down the floor all game.
Man, I mean, he's fun to watch in games. I'll tell you, the year I managed the team where he was on, he's that much more fun to watch in practice. Just an explosive guy on the court. I mean, sacrifices every part of his body to do whatever's best for the team.
Well, RB, your Unrooted is over. You made it. You made it through Menlo College. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Barnett is out of here. RB, thanks for joining me on the show.
Thank you for having me, Brian.
You're very welcome. Folks, this is the final episode of Unrooted in 2019. We thank you so much for tuning in all season long. We invite you back in the fall semester when soccer and volleyball and cross country get rearing up again for Menlo College in the 2019-2020 season. Thanks so much for tuning in. Enjoy your summer vacations, everybody.